Hey, NFC North fans. This is your host, Tim, with the NFC North Monsters. And today is free agency and Christmas around the NFL as GMs are loading up their teams. Damn, have there been some fucking moves today? I mean, let's start off with we're just gonna go right to the phone and just dive right down. We're gonna go team by team as of right now. This is courtesy of CBSSports.com. The Arizona Cardinals have done a little bit of damage. I still feel like there could be a Tyson Bagent trade here. I mean, they did sign Gardner Minshew. Let's be fair here. He ain't a starter. I feel like Tyson Bagent would be a step up over Minshew. But anyways, Isaac Simalo, offensive guard. He did a 3-year, $31.5 million contract. Running back, Tyler Algier, 2 years, 12.25. Then it has a potential of going up to 16 and a quarter million on that contract. Defensive lineman Roy Lopez, 2 years, 11.5, $7 million guaranteed. And then Minshew signed a 1-year deal worth $5.75 million up to 8.25. I honestly thought he was out with an ACL tear, so I was kind of surprised to see even Minshew getting signed today. But that's why I'm like, don't rule out Tyson Bagent being traded yet. I do believe that's still a possibility. His value might be dropping now. He might be going down to a third round draft pick instead of a second, just because of some of the moves today. But let's keep going. Atlanta, holy shit, have they been busy? They picked up Tua because Miami just released him. So Tua does a 1-year, $1.3 million contract. That's pretty much the league minimum. That's like a give me, kind of that Russell Wilson contract that happened when he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. But yeah, so I really feel like, that's going to be just a prove me contract. I mean, he's probably going to be playing for another contract. Hopefully, he's probably hoping with another team. But I mean, honestly, I think Tua is now to the point in his contract and his NFL life cycle to where he's just going to be a career backup here or there with the potential of competing for a number one spot on a roster that's lackluster, kind of like what you would find at the Jets or the Falcons or even down in uh, New Orleans. But also with Atlanta today, they have signed Jahan Dotson, 2 years, 15 mil. Punter Jake Bailey, 3-year, 9 mil. 5 million of that is guaranteed. Big target that was with the New England Patriots last year, and it's kind of a safety cushion for Drake May. Tight end Austin Hooper, 1-year, $3.25 million contract. Edge Cameron Thomas, 1-year, $3.1 million. Nick Folk, dude, this guy's like 41 years old. Good for him on still playing, but kickers and punters, they can tend to play for a lot longer than normal. And then from the Chicago Bears, he got Olamide Zaccheaus, which doesn't surprise me that he followed Ian Cunningham over to the Falcons. I'm sure that was kind of like one of Ian's boys. So, but also let's bring up some news from Atlanta Falcons as well. We got fucked again on our comp picks. So I really think the NFL needs to do away with the goddamn Rooney Rule. If we're going to sit there and we're going to invest in a minority, put the time in, do the work in, let them progress, and let them get hired by another NFL team, and you get no compensation for that, then that has no effect. I do understand though that the Rooney Rule is in place, so minorities get a chance, which I'm all for. I feel like there should be diversity across the NFL, but don't create a rule that you're going to possibly get compensation picks for putting the work in for somebody just to say fuck you. No, that's not going to happen. That is hypocritical. And Roger Goodell, you should be goddamn ashamed because you're a fucking joke as an NFL commissioner. That's bullshit, man. You need to do what's right and give the Bears their picks. Atlantis said that we deserve the picks. So do the damn picks, do it right. But you're not going to because you're a coward and you're a piece of shit. Anyways, there's my rant on Roger Goodell. I've not been a Goodell fan, period. Then Baltimore Ravens, I think, made the biggest splash by giving up 2 number 1 draft picks to the Las Vegas Raiders for Max Crosby. I was not down for paying that price. I know this was a lackluster draft, but still, I feel like we can get a Max Crosby caliber player with the picks that we have. We can sure as shit hit a home run on at least one of them, but we'll see. Then they also signed offensive guard John Simpson to a 3-year, $30 million contract. I'm not going into who they've really re-signed. I mean, they did re-sign Tyler Huntley, so good for him. Buffalo Bills, obviously, we traded DJ Moore to them with the 5th round draft pick, and we picked up the 2nd, which I'm still I think that was a better move than the Max Crosby deal. I feel like we're going to come out ahead versus watching what the Baltimore Ravens are going to do with the Max Crosby on the roster. We'll see. Time will tell. I mean, season hasn't even started yet. And then they also signed cornerback D. Alford, a 3-year, $21 million contract, $10.12 million guaranteed. So all in all, that was a semi-lackluster day for the Buffalo Bills starting out with, but I mean, they started out with a DJ Moore, so good for them. Carolina Panthers, they signed edge Jalen Phillips. He was a very good edge for the Philadelphia Eagles, but man, did they 4 years, 120 mil. I know the Chicago Bears were talked about possibly getting him, but 30 million a year. I doubt he's going to make out that contract. I bet he'll be gone by year 2 to possibly 3 in this deal. So I don't know if that. We'll see. It's a prove me wrong deal. Then they picked up Kenny Pickett to back up Bryce Young. Kenny Pickett is now just a career backup, but he is a Super Bowl champ. He signed a 1-year, $7.5 million. How the fuck is this guy getting that type of money? I mean, seriously. $4 million of it's guaranteed, but I mean, come on. He has not produced shit in the NFL, but he is getting paid like he does. I mean, $7 million? Come on. For Kenny Pickett? Come on. So let's get on to our beloved Chicago Bears. Man, I feel like we had a damn good day. Let's start off with safety Kobe Bryant. 3 years, $40 million. Seattle Seahawks secondary stud. I really like Kobe Bryant in that Seahawks defense. I felt like he was a great star in that defense. And I mean, there's a lot of stars on that defense, but I felt like he was one of them. And I mean, we picked him up, I feel like, for bargain money. That is a huge upgrade over Jaquan Brisker. I mean, that's not even comparing the two. You have Pro Bowler contender Kobe Bryant, and then somewhere down in the ground somewhere is Jaquan Brisker. I don't see where Brisker's going to wind up. He's probably not going to get the money or the length that he's hoping. I mean, he has a lot of concussions and injuries. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wish the kid the best. I was super stoked when he was drafted by the Chicago Bears. I thought he was going to be really good, especially with Kyler Gordon, who also has had his moments of injuries and everything else. But anyways, that's enough on that one. But then we picked up linebacker Devin Bush, 3 years, $30 million, and that was out of the Cleveland Browns. I think once again, we did a big fuck you. I think that's about probably a wash with the Tremaine Edmonds, but it's less money for a younger player that I feel has a higher upside than Tremaine Edmonds, who couldn't fucking cover. I mean, I'm going to give my boys over at TTNL Network a huge amount of credit on this. Draft Dr. Phil and also Shane Marsaw. I love those guys. I watch their shows a ton, but I give them tons of credit on this. And I had they opened my eyes to actually watching him in coverage. He was slow and non-reactive. He was better in the first part of the season, but then when he got hurt, I really feel like we should just kept him shut down, especially when D-Jack stepped up and filled the role and just let Edmonds just right out the year. I feel like that's what we should have done and brought him back in maybe the playoffs. But I think his productivity, everything went down with that injury. The one player that kind of surprised me today was the defensive tackle Neville Gallimore. He played with the Colts and I was it the Cowboys, but it was 2 years, 12 million. He's going to just be a plug and play, a rotational type player where I feel like there's value there because he's going to be depth. We traded for offensive lineman center Garrett Bradbury. That guy, that's another just we traded for filling a void. But we got him for cheap, just a 5th-round pick. I think that was huge value there. And I'm very happy with the way Brian's polls went about the first 4 signings, acquisitions, you want to call it, of the free agency. Now, who did we retain? We retained linebacker DeMarco Jackson. Huge upgrade. This guy is going to be legit, lights out in the linebacking core. And now you have him with Devin Bush. I think that's going to really help solidify the middle of the field there. But I mean, he got a 2-year, $7.5 million contract up to 10.5 mil. Good on you, D-Jack. Now go out there, kick some ass, and I believe you deserve to have a C. Probably right there. I think you have that type of quality, that type of character. I'd love to see what you're going to do next year. This next signing, I absolutely loved, and I'm glad that he's back because he's more of a quarterback's coach than he is a player at this point. But the quarterback, Case Keenum, he really helped out Caleb Williams this year. You can see him coaching him up on the sidelines when Caleb would come across and be frustrated after a bad play or whatever. Case was like, well, you probably should have gone this route, or don't worry about it. Look for this read next time. Look and anticipate. I really feel like that's the way that Keenum played this year, was just to fill in that role. And he got a 2-year, 5.5 million with an $8 million upgrade that he could possibly get. By the way, who'd you rather have, him or Kenny Pickett for? We got Keenum for 2 million less, and at least Keenum's a playoff style quarterback versus Pickett, who threw a pass. Sorry, I've been battling a stomach issue. I've been drinking a lot of Sprite lately. Then we signed Edge Daniel Harding, 2-year, 5 mil. Like that signing too. Once again, he's a special teams player who can help out on the line if need be, but his role is going to be mainly in the special teams and maybe coming to the line if there's an injury or anything along those lines. But anyways, that's some good signings right there. I think for the Bears, we started out strong, and then we also traded DJ Moore. So Ryan Poles has definitely been cooking. Mr. Chef Poles, you've been kicking some ass today. And then it did not show the Braxton Jones, but we re-signed Braxton Jones as well. Hate it, but understand the necessity. He understands the system, and we could just put him over on left tackle. It was a 1-year, $10 million deal, but I'm not a huge fan of it, but that is what it is. Now on to the Bengals. They have done edge Boy Maffey, 3-year, $60 million. I don't know much about him, but I feel like that's a pretty big contract for that type of player. Safety Brian Cook, 3-year, $42.5 million. I feel like the Bengals are just tossing money out there. The Browns did offensive guard Zion Johnson, 3-year, $49.5. The Cowboys safety Jalen Thompson, 3-year, $33 million, and then they traded for Rashawn Gary from the Packers as well. The Broncos have just basically re-signed players. They haven't gone out and done anything yet. So, well, they're not losing J.K. Dobbins, who was somebody I was kind of hoping the Bears may have been able to pick up. I think Dobbins still has a lot of tread on those tires, but he's going to be staying with the Denver Broncos, so that's no big deal. We have Swift, and we have my guy Manangai. I do expect to see Roschon Johnson booted here soon. I don't believe he's going to make the 53-man roster. His production is just pure shit, and he's been injured, and I don't see a future with him with the Chicago Bears, especially with Ben Johnson. He seems like he's not going to put up with that shit this year. The Detroit Lions. I'm only laughing because it's Larry Borum. Us Chicago Bear fans know Larry Borum, hate Larry Borum, wish him the best of luck in Detroit, especially when Sweat comes after his ass and he knocks him into the quarterback repeatedly and often. And then they also signed center Cade Mays, 3-year, $25 million contract with 14 of it guaranteed. The Packers have retained 2 linemen, Sean Ryan and Darian Kennard. But then they also signed today. Oh, no, they traded, for Zaire Franklin from the Indianapolis Colts. So pretty lackluster from the Packers as well today. The Houston Texans, they signed one of our boys, Demeek Robinson. Good luck with Robinson. 1 year, $4 million. Yeah. Safety Reed Blankenship. That's actually not a bad signing. I like that one. 3-year, 24.75. Maybe don't love the dollar amount attached to it, but I mean Reed Blankenship does bring a lot of experience. So, but I mean, hell, Texans did a great thing too. I mean, hell, they traded for David Montgomery. So the Lions lose one of their 2-headed monsters in the backfield. So I really feel like the Lions are going to be regressing this year, but we'll see what happens. I mean, we still have the draft and there's still more free agency to go. Obviously, it's just day 1. And I mean, none of these signings are official until Wednesday anyways, but teams can agree to these deals. And then the Texans retained a bunch of players. They did 7 so far. So a lot of minor deals, although they did guard Ed Ingram. They did 3 years, 37.5. Edge, Danielle Hunter. That's a big freaking contract. 1 year, $40 million with $31 million almost guaranteed. That's a big contract. The Colts, they've been kind of busy doing trades more than anything else, but they signed Arden Key, 2 year, $20 million, 11 of it guaranteed. They did the transition tag on Daniel Jones. I don't know who the fuck's going to want to sign Daniel Jones, especially if there's a transition tag attached to it. You probably could have re-signed him and been just fine. But I don't know what the fuck the Colts are doing. The Jaguars have only re-signed 3 of their own players. Quentin Morris, tight end, Dennis Gardeck, linebacker, and cornerback Montaric Brown for 3 years, $33 million. Not much going on there. The Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, they've been busy. They got the MVP of the Super Bowl, Kenneth Walker III, for 3 years, $45 million, 28.7 guaranteed. And they re-signed Travis Kelce, who's coming back for 1 year, probably his final year in the NFL, $12 million with 15 possible. And then they picked up defensive tackle Khyiris Tonga. Good on him. Good on him. If this is the Tonga I'm thinking, no, it is not the Tonga I'm thinking. But anyways, good contract there for him. He got 3 years, $21 million with $14 million guaranteed. So that good contract with him. The Las Vegas Raiders. I saw a meme come out that they're like Oprah today, giving everybody a goddamn contract. Hang on. I have technical difficulties behind the scene. Okay, they traded for Taron Johnson from the Bills. Not bad. He's a good, solid cornerback for them. The big shocker. I mean, this is going to help out their number one draft pick, but they signed Tyler Linderbaum, who I was really hoping the Bears were going to possibly go after. But once you see the contract, you know it wasn't going to happen. 3 years, $81 million, 60 million guaranteed. He has reset the center market. He is now the highest paid center in the NFL. Good on you, Linderbaum. I'm glad that you signed a huge contract. You spent many years there protecting and doing very well in Baltimore, protecting Lamar Jackson. If it's Mendoza that goes to the Raiders, at least they now have a good piece. So I think the Raiders have done well. I mean, they traded Crosby. They got some additional draft capital. But anyways, also with what they've done today, Edge, Kwity Payne, 3-year, 48 million, 32 million of it guaranteed. The Raiders tossed out a crap ton of guaranteed money. It's looking like linebacker Quay Walker, 3-year, 40.5, 28 million guaranteed. And then let's see. Then we have linebacker Nakobe Dean, 3-year, 36 million with 20 million guaranteed. Wide receiver Jalen Naylor, 3-year, 35 million. And cornerback Eric Stokes, 3-year, 30. And then they didn't stop there. They also retained Malcolm Kuntz, a edge for them, 1-year, 11 million. And then they put some tenders on 3 other players. The Chargers also very busy. They signed center Tyler Biadasz, 3-year, 30 million. That was another center that was linked to come to Chicago. I think 10 million a year, we probably could have pulled the trigger on that, but obviously he may not have been in play. He was a little older, so maybe that kind of was hesitant for the Chicago Bears to go that route. So then we have tight end Charlie Kohler, 3-year, 24.3, 17 million guaranteed. That's also happened for the Chargers. And then fullback Alec Ingold, 2 years, 7.5 million. The fullback's a dying breed, man. I don't see many teams, going fullbacks anymore. It's usually just a 2 running back set. Occasionally, if you need a fullback, you're tossing in an extra tight end, or you might even pull a lineman, offensive or defensive, to be your fullback. It's really just not what it used to be. And then the Chargers retained Khalil Mack, which I was really hoping he would come to Chicago and finish out his career. But he did a 1-year, 18 million, fully guaranteed. I'm somehow feeling like this is Khalil Mack's curtain call as well. Same with Kelsey. Both these guys, without a doubt, Hall of Famers, Kelsey and Mack. So, if it is his curtain call, I hope he goes out the way he wanted to go out. So, the Los Angeles Rams, they made a big trade before today. They did the cornerback Trent McDuffie, 4-year, $124 million they paid him from the Chiefs. $31 million a year. Damn. I'm never mad at some of these contracts. It's a little shocking at times because it's like so much money to pay one player. But if that's what you want to do. But then they weren't done with signing cornerbacks, by the way. They signed Jalen Watson, 3-year, $51 million. So they have just now put $175 million into their secondary over the next few years. But 34 million of his contract is also guaranteed. And then long snapper Joe Cardona. And then they retained 2 of the players. They did sign Tyler Higbee and safety Cam Curl. So, there's another $36 million of Curl going into that. So, in the last few days, they've dumped almost $200 million into their secondary. That's a shit ton of money. What could I do with $200 million? Probably do a YouTube channel. The Miami Dolphins, they've been cleaning house. They have done a lot of trades. They did Micah Fitzpatrick to the Jets earlier today for, I believe it was very low pick. But we'll get down to the Jets. I'm sure it's going to pop up. And then they released Tua, where they're eating a shit ton of that contract. Obviously, because I told you what the contract was going to Atlanta. It was basically the league minimum for him going there. And then, but they did sign Malik Willis. Thank God that guy's out of the damn NFC North. He was a bear killer. I mean, congrats, Malik. I mean, he did a 3-year, 67.5 contract with 45 million guaranteed. That's a nice chunk of change. So once again, I can't be upset with it. I really can't. It's just shocking, though, the amount of money that happened. Sorry, I backed out of the list accidentally. But yeah, so that's to the Dolphins. Urgh. Technology, fat fingers, happens. Forgive me, scrolling. So the Miami Dolphins, like I said, did the Malik Willis deal. Good on him, but somehow the back of my mind, I just don't know if Malik Willis is a starter. But hey, good on. I mean, maybe he is. Maybe he's a legit starter out of all the quarterbacks that were signed today. I mean, I definitely have him over Tua. So personally, so the NFC North Minnesota Vikings signed quarterback James Pierce, sorry. 2-year, 8.5 mil. Pretty cheap. They did re-sign linebacker Eric Wilson for 3-year, 22.5. So, and then they have exclusive rights and right of first refusal on 4 of their players. So, not much going on for Minnesota. The New England Patriots, they signed Edge Draymond Jones, 3-year, 39.5 mil. Fullback Reggie Gilliam, 3-year, 12 mil, 6 million of that's guaranteed. And an offensive linebacker, Jesse Lukita, for a 1-year deal. And then they re-signed Tommy DeVito. He takes great family photos, Tommy DeVito. So go Tommy. Wait to at least get endorsements. But yeah, whatever. New Orleans Saints now, sorry. Offensive guard David Edwards, 4 years, 61 million. Running back Travis Anthony. I'm slaughtering it. 4-year, 52 million. Holy crap. I didn't really pay attention to the money that was associated with that deal. That's pretty insane for him, but good. He was linked to the Bears, I think, last year. I'm not sure if we kicked around the tires on it this year, but I did see that Alvin Kamara might I'm not sure if he is a free agent. I haven't really dived into all the free agents for New Orleans. I know Cam Jordan's out there, but I did hear that there's a Kamara watch now of what's going to happen with him. Then they signed a punter, 4 years, 14 million, 8 million guaranteed, and Noah Fant. Solid tight end. He started with the Broncos, then he went to the Seahawks, and I believe he's bounced around a couple other places, but so good on him. And then they retained a player. Then here come the Giants, who I don't know what the fuck they're doing either. They signed our Chicago Bear, Tremaine Edmonds, 3-year, 36 mil, 2.37 guaranteed. They could have traded for him and got cheaper. They could have got 2 years left on him and saved themselves $6 million. But whatever. Then they signed tight end Isaiah Likely, 3-year, 40 million. He is a former Baltimore Raven. Solid piece there for Lamar Jackson. That's going to be a huge loss for Baltimore. But I mean, hell, Baltimore's paying what? Lamar Jackson, Max Crosby, Roquan Smith. I think that's probably 3/4 of their goddamn payroll right there. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the amount of money some of these people are tossing at these players, So I'm okay with what Ryan Poles is doing. He is not overspending on free agents and putting us into salary cap hell. Even though this year was a little rough and we had to make some unfortunate trades and cuts, but I think coming into today, we only had one player on the that was signed through 2029, and that was it. So Poles has done a lot of smart things that I don't think a lot of us give him credit for. Anyways, back to the Giants. They have signed punter Jordan Stout, 3-year, $12.3 million. I did hear a joke today. Sorry, that's why I was laughing on this. That apparently the Giants plan on punting a lot this year. That's why they signed a punter. And then safety, Ardarius Washington, 1-year, $3 million. Cheap, probably just a rotational player there. They have also retained 4 of their players. The Jets, I feel like they're overpaying for a lot of players. Edge, Joseph Osai, 3-year, $36 million, 22.5 guaranteed. Linebacker, Demario Davis, 2-year, $22 million, 15 million guaranteed. Defensive tackle, David Animata, 1-year, 10.5, 9.7 of that guaranteed. Edge, Kingsley Enegbear, 1-year, 10 mil, 8.5 guaranteed. Safety, Dane Belton, 1-year, 6 mil. Fullback, Andrew Beck, 1-year, 1.5 mil. Traded for Fitzpatrick, 3-year, 40 million, and it was for a 7th round pick. That's why I was so shocked about it. I was like, for Minkah Fitzpatrick, I guess, he age and productivity, it does happen. But still, I would have thought for sure he'd still at least catch a 5th-year deal. Breece Hall got a franchise tag. He got a 1-year, $14.29 million fully guaranteed contract on that. And so, yeah, the Jets have just been tossing shit tons of money around. Wow. Eagles haven't done much. I've heard some rumors out there that Jalen Carter might be linked to the Bears. Look, we could have drafted him. We chose not to. I still am holding pat that I think he's more of a head case than he's worth. I am not in agreement at all with us going after him. Yeah, he's young. He's a great defensive lineman, but there's just something not clicking right. I mean, first game of the year, he spit on Dak Prescott, and I don't know. I've never been overly wowed by him. Yeah, he's been a Pro Bowler and so on, but still not there on that one. So the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is also why I was like, what the fuck is Indianapolis doing? They traded for Michael Pittman from the Colts, and then they signed him to 3 years, $59 million. So the Colts are giving away weapons. What are they? Is it a suck for luck season next year for them? I mean, what's really going on in Indianapolis? Pittsburgh also signed cornerback Jamel Dean, 3-year, 36.5. Running back Rico Dowell. The terms were not disclosed. They retained Asante Samuel Jr. and linebacker Cole Holcomb. Some big news that happened in the NFC West. Obviously, the 49ers are gearing up. They retained kicker Eddie Pinheiro, former Chicago Bear. 4 years, $17 million. That's a lot of money for Eddie. But, I mean, hey, he came in clutch for him. But the big deal here, Mike Evans, 3 years, 60.4 mil. Evans ain't finishing out that contract. They might get 2 years out of him. Offensive tackle Verdane Lowe, 2 years, 12 mil, 5.75 guaranteed. Seahawks not signed anybody yet, except for their own players. They have retained Rashid Shaheed, who is linked to come to the Chicago possibly. Josh Jobe, Drake Thomas, linebacker, running back George Heleni, and safety Ty Okada. Really no big contract. Well, a couple big contracts with Shaheed and cornerback Josh Joe, but everything else is kind of just mid grade low. Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebacker from the Detroit Lions, Alec Anzalone, 2 years, $17 million. Running back Kenneth Gainwell, 2 year, $14 million, 10 guaranteed. I just think they with Alex older, well, 2 years is probably about the extent of what he's probably got left in the tank. Then they retained their tight end Cade Oton. They paid him 3 year, 30 million, 20 million guaranteed. The Titans, they've been busy as well. They've been shelling out some money. They signed former Chicago Bear Mitchell Trubisky. Good on Mitch. Good on Biscuit. He's just gonna be a backup down there. He might compete for the starting jobs, but I really don't think that's gonna be the case. I think they're gonna run with their QB that they drafted, Cam Ward. So, but I mean, he's a solid backup. I mean, unfortunately, that's what Trubisky was coming into the draft when we drafted him. He was just a fucking backup, but because he drove a beat up fucking Honda or Toyota, Ryan Pace fucking blew jizz everywhere and was like, oh, I gotta sign this guy. I gotta draft him and not Patrick Mahomes. Dumbass. Titans also signed wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, 4 years, 70 mil. Defensive tackle John Franklin Myers, 3 years, 63 million, 42 of it's guaranteed. Cornerback Alante Taylor, 3 years, 60 mil, 42 of that's guaranteed. Cornerback Cordale, I hope that's right. Flott, 3 year, 45 mil, 32 of it guaranteed. Tight end Daniel Bellinger, 3 year, 24 mil. Center Austin Schlotman, 2 year, 9 mil. Guard Cordell Volson, 1 year, 4.5 or 4.2. So they made some big splashes. Then they found out that they're running out of money because it's not Monopoly money. So they started backing off. Then they retained long snapper Morgan Cox. Washington, the Commanders, edge Odafe Owe, 4 year, 100 million, 68 guaranteed. Wow, money. Defensive tackle Tim Settle, 3 year, 24 mil, up to 25.5. Cornerback Amik Robertson, 2 year, 16 mil, 9.3 guaranteed. And then they brought back Marcus Mariota, 1 year deal, 7 mil. Mariota's just like a Trubisky and just going to be a career backup. They did re-sign Tunsil, 2 year for 60.2. Dude, that guy's been making bank after smoking that weed in that gas mask. Good on him. He's just bankrolling everywhere. But he is a hell of a player. Trust me, if we could have picked up Tunsil today for not 30 million a year, I would have been fucking super excited about that shit. Offensive guard tackle Andrew Willie or Wiley probably, 2 years, 6.65 mil, 3.7. Offensive lineman Nick Allegretti, 2 year. Punter Tress Way. So I mean, they brought back the punter that was on the retained. They've also re-signed their kicker Jake Moody, Drake Jackson, Shy Tuttle. So and Dietrich Wise. So they were busy. So that's all the recapping that I have. Let's see. Let's check the World Wide Webs as I like to see here what has transpired. Funny little meme just came out that the Packers were begging that please don't give the Bears the 3-round pick, the 30-round draft pick compensation. Probably fuckers probably got involved in there somehow, some way. Yeah, that Braxton Jones. That's about the last big news. That was an hour ago. Kendrick Bourne signing with the Cardinals. I believe we mentioned that one. But yeah, I really hope with Braxton Jones that he pulled his head out of his ass and saw that he's easily replaceable. I mean, he fucks around this year. I'm sure there's language in that contract that they'll cut his ass and that they're not going to be out the money. So let's see. I'm going to check another source here. Um, that source would be X, by the way. X has been very busy today with, obviously. The Pittsburgh Steelers have an offer on the table. This is as of 3 hours ago. Sorry, not 3 years, 3 hours. For Tyson Bagent, and it's for a third round draft pick. Chicago is wanting a second and an additional day 3 pick. Arizona called, but the price was too high. Eddie Jackson did a profile picture of him in a Bears jersey. Sure. Is he even around anymore? Yeah, the Cardinals backed out. They were going to possibly give up a second round pick, which would have been number 34, and pick 6 that was 181, but they wanted the Bears to give up pick 57 as well as Tyson Bagent. I mean, don't get me wrong, that 34th pick would have been pretty sweet. That's almost like another first round draft pick with it being so high. But yeah, that looks like that's about where we're at. Still, Trey Hendrickson. I mean, I've seen him linked to the Bears, the Cowboys. He's been linked to a couple the Colts and a couple other teams as well. I really feel like his asking price is just too damn high. I think for what he wants with his age, his injuries, he needs to be realistic. I mean, there might be a dumbass team out there that's going to overpay. I mean, there always is. I mean, let's all be real about this. Let me just. I'm going to check one more just to see. Let's check ESPN. I mean, I was kind of surprised that Joe Mixon's out on the market now, but he got released by the Texans. He would be bad as a nice backup security piece. Yahoo Sports. Let's see. I mean, Kyler Murray. Let's talk about Kyler Murray. Where could he possibly end up? I've heard he might be going to the Minnesota Vikings. Sweet. Bring it. So that would mean the Vikings would have Murray and McCarthy. Put them together, you might eventually get a quality QB out of the two. But yeah, I didn't see anybody jump on to chit chat with me, so not that big of a deal. I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it, as I'm still a new channel out there. But you know, I like to just, like I said, I'm gonna give my shout outs to TTNL Network. I absolutely like Draft Dr. Phil Atoshin, the smartest man, Shane Marsaw, Ivan Vargas, Cars. I mean, those 4 guys do a tremendous job. I recommend watching their draft mob. They do a phenomenal job breaking down players. I mean, hats off to these guys. I mean, I hope to eventually be on their level at some point in time, or at least close to it. But yeah, PTO Network's awesome. Then over on CHGO, Greg Breaks Jr., Adam Hogue, Carm. Those 3 guys do a great job over there as well. And then Adam Rank, I mean, those are my go-tos every time I'm really like, hey, what's going on out there? I try not to rip their material because they put so much work into what they do. So I try not to share anything that they talk about. But if they do, and I'm going to use it, I'm going to definitely give those guys credit because I mean, hey, hats off, boys. I'm very proud of you guys. I just wish I could be in the same caliber as you. Um, but yeah, I do watch another one. I think it's a just another bear show. With Nick Brody. Nick. I don't want to say your last name because I think I'm wrong with it. But sometimes I agree with what he says, but he gets a little hung up, a little bit starstruck with some of the players, and it's hard for some of the things he's saying that I'm going to actually sit there and agree with. But um, he does a lot of good videos. He does a lot of 10-minute or shorter videos. This one's actually gone really long because I broke down at what every team has done so far. Out of the 4 teams in the NFC North, I feel like the Bears are coming out the strongest. Um, don't know if that's I hate being off-season fucking champions. We did it for the last couple of years, but hey, at least last year we made it deep in the playoffs, deeper than the rest of the NFC North. Will it pay off in this year? Time will tell. I mean, it comes down to, do the players buy into the coaching? Did we fill the right voids? Our players can stay healthy and so on and so forth. But also, I'm really interested to see now what we're going to do in the draft. I mean, we could still go offensive tackle or defensive tackle, edge, one of those 3 positions easily with that first pick. The second pick, same way. Third pick, same. Our first 3 picks could be those 3 positions. I do not think we're going to sign Byard. I think that's Ryan Poles' way of giving a big middle finger along with Deshaun Wright, because if they do get signed somewhere, we might get compensation back for those players because they were Pro Bowl players and we didn't sign Pro Bowl players to replace them. So, that there might be some comp picks there. Doubt it because once again, fuck you, Roger Goodell. You're such a just conniving little bastard. But it will be interesting to see. I if we do get rid of Tyson Bagent in the draft, if we trade him before the draft, which I feel like is a possibility, but I'm not butthurt if he stays. If he stays, great. If he goes, he goes. But I can see us in the later rounds or even in the undrafted free agents picking up a QB. I mean, I would think round 6, 7, we could pick up a QB if there's one lingering there. I've seen some people hoping that we would pick up a running back in the first round. That shit's not going to happen. A running back's not a fucking need. We have Monunga and we have Swift, and next year it's the last year on Swift's deal, anyways. So we could pick up another free agent running back, or draft another one, or pick up one on UDFA. I mean, it's not unheard of for us to be doing things like this. I just think we have greater needs than a running back, and that need is defense and offensive linemen. I mean, I would almost think that we could even pick up a center in some later rounds of the draft. I still don't think we're done there. I think we're picking up another center. It is interesting to see, though, that our salary cap has been chewed up quite a bit today. But that also tells me that there's moves coming. Don't be surprised if Jalen Johnson is dealt or cut. I know that might be a shock to some, but he's got a big price tag, and his productivity wasn't there because he was hurt, because he didn't condition himself well enough. Kind of like Kyler Gordon. These guys need to get onto the workout routine in the offseason and get themselves ready and quit screwing around doing shit on their own, because obviously it didn't work. You got hurt and you hurt the team because you were hurt. But We have a lot of re-signings that need to happen next year. A lot of our rookie contracts are coming up, and we have quality players that are those rookie contracts. Tyler Stevenson is one of them. Darnell Wright, another one. And hey, we're going to have to pay Caleb Williams here. If we do it next year, great. But I think we're going to probably re-sign him in 2028. Once he does his fourth year, we'll sign him during that year. And it's going to be a big fucking contract. I'm going to say it's probably going to be an $800 million contract. It's going to be massive, especially if he gets us to the promised land. And I can care what a lot of you think about his accuracy and all that other shit. Look at his goddamn numbers that he puts up. Look at what he does. People want to come to Chicago because of Caleb Williams. He is a game changer. He is, without a doubt, one of the best QBs in the NFL, and he shows it. And one more year under Ben Johnson, this kid's going to be lights out for years to come. And Chicago would be stupid if we ever let him walk out the door. I don't think we will. We're going to make him want to stay here. Hell, they're probably already working on the bronze statue outside Arlington Heights at the new stadium, if that's where that shit winds up. Boy, I don't even know. I think that's still tied up in the Illinois legislation again. Shocker. But I really thought that they would have made a decision by now, but we'll see. But anyways, if any more huge news comes out, I'll definitely try to see what I can do. I'll be posting on my TikTok, NFC North Monsters. I've been doing just text because, like I said, I've been dealing with some stomach issues for like the last week. Not like it's probably an ulcer or some shit. Who knows? But anyways, I'm Tim with the NFC North Monsters. I greatly appreciate all of you out there. I hope you start to watch the channel, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I just want to say hey. If you think I'm a dumbass, say hey, dumbass. I don't really care. I'm not gonna get butthurt about this shit. I'm trying. I'm putting myself out there. You can too. It's fun to try. That's what I'm here to do. But anyways, let's fucking go. Let's bear down, and let's see how the rest of this free agency comes out. And let's see if the Bears make some more awesome moves. And let's see what happens coming up to the draft. Anyways, once again, we'll see you next time. Bear down.